We continue to celebrate Women's History Month here on Great Day, Washington. And today we're celebrating the legacy of women artists here in D.C. Joining us to highlight some remarkable female art is Tosca Ruggieri, an art historian and founder of Art with Tosca. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, you've been busy. You do a lot of tours.
Yes, lots of tours, lectures.
Yeah. Tell us how you got into this type of work.
Yeah, so my career actually started between Paris and then London. I'm a French-Italian art historian, and I moved here in 2021, and I started Art with Tosca, which was a way for me to continue sharing my passion about art history and bring people into the museum, but with a different perspective, and highlighting some artists that are not part of the traditional narrative of art history, or at least not always. And so that's how it started.
Yeah. How do you feel our museums compare to those in Europe? I mean, it's hard to compare, but I'm wondering, do we at least
so the National Gallery of Art is really a beautiful museum with so many treasures, and it really rivals with some of the French collections. So it's definitely
we're up there. Now you have an event coming up called Her Brush, Her Story. It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday.
Yeah, tell us about this event.
So it's actually a tour I've been doing for a few years now, but I'm offering it again as a small group tour this Saturday. And it focuses specifically on women artists present at the National Gallery. So it's a great way for people who may be familiar with the collection of the National Gallery to see it under a new lens and see the history, to discover maybe some figures they didn't know about. And it's really about challenging the traditional narrative and putting these artists back into the spotlight, because sometimes they've been erased out of history.
Of course.
So
I can only imagine there are so many women artists that we are not familiar with.
Yes, and there's a great new painting at the National Gallery of Art that fits beautifully into that narrative, like the missing piece of the puzzle. It's a painting by the artist Artemisia Gentileschi, who's a Renaissance artist, and it's truly a beautiful painting. It's only been up for a month, so I'm excited to be able to show it this time.
Yeah, and of course it's Women's History Month, so a really great time to celebrate if you're looking to do something amazing. Now, are you sold out? Can people still go on your tour?
So there's actually 4 spots left as we speak, so people can still sign up for that. And if this gets sold out, then I'll open a wait list, and I'm probably going to offer it again. And it's also, if people want to go on this tour, I also do it on a private tour, so it's one of the itinerary I offer.
Oh, wonderful. Now, where else, outside of your tours, but if someone's just solo, where can we find some great pieces of art or works of art by women here in D.C.?
So in Washington, D.C., there is a unique museum dedicated only to women artists. It's the National Museum of Women in the Arts. So that's definitely one spot to check out. They always have great exhibitions too. And another place I would love to recommend is, specifically right now, it's L'Enfant Gallery in Georgetown, because they just acquired a collection of paintings from which a lot of them are by women artists, and they have actually a great drawing by Mary Cassatt. So that's a great parallel to the exhibition that's taking place at the National Gallery right now.
Wow, okay, fantastic. Now, do you find on your tours mostly women, or are there some men in there too?
Oh, that's a really good question. So when I do this tour open to people specifically about women artists, it's a majority of women who come to that tour. So please bring some more men to learn about women artists. But yeah, 99% of my guests are women on that specific itinerary. Otherwise, it's a good mix.
Okay, it's a good mix. So year-round, you do other tours, not specifically just women in the arts?
Yes, I do tours of specifically the art museums in Washington, D.C., so the National Museum of Women in the Arts, the National Gallery of Art, Smithsonian American Art Museum, and National Portrait Gallery are the mains, and sometimes the Phillips collection too. And
you have the coolest job ever.
It's really nice.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing with us.
Thank you so much.
Of course. To learn more about tours you can take and any upcoming events, visit artwithtosca.com.